Hello YouTube, Liverpool fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man Sai. Liverpool love a January transfer. We've had some of the most stunning transfers ever in the January transfer window. Virgil van Dijk, ring any bells? Luis Suarez, Andy Carroll, what a window that was for good and for bad reasons. We even had Marco Grujic come on one of the transfers as well. I think Sturridge was a January transfer as well, wasn't he? The SAS strike force was pretty dreamy, unpredictable, wild, charismatic. I think Sturridge brought us the 1-0 victories throughout a lot of those early matches as well. Really good player, shame about the injuries. The Stadger, always good for the end of year quiz as well. But yes, Liverpool showed their hands with the Moises Caicedo failed deal that we actually have the money for the right target. Now whether that comes to fruition, whether we use it, at least we know that Liverpool, if they have identified the right transfer targets, we're willing to splash out, and I'm hoping that's the case as well. But one thing of interest is that Liverpool usually do their work in and around the kind of September, October, November months, because December, coming up to the transfer window, you want to be closing the deals so you can get the deals closed early in January, as soon as the transfer window opens. Other clubs know we have that money in reserve. We use some of that money for Wataru, Endo, Varane and Gravenberch, and we should still have some left over, right? It's a shame about the stand and the delays of the upper tier, but it is what it is. You've got to make sure it's safe for everybody. Liverpool, we know that best of all. You can't rush these things. When it's ready, and we'll be utilising it for years to come. So let's not get too down on that. Unfortunate for fans who missed the Everton game. But I want to bring to you 5 potential players who I think Liverpool realistically could transfer. And I'm keen to avoid the ridiculous, sensationalist headlines like Mbappe to Liverpool, because Liverpool would never stop up the financial package. He wouldn't want to stay there for long either, and we don't need a short gap one season. You know, hopefully he hits the ground running, bangs in a couple, wins us a couple too. Liverpool thinking long term, especially utilising the last years of Jurgen Klopp. He's building Liverpool 2.0, not Mbappe plus Liverpool, right? Also, Leroy Sané, quality player, cutting in from the left. He's a step above in the Bundesliga. He's finally showing some of his potential. Man City connections there, expensive package. We still have Salah. Leroy Sané wouldn't start all the time. No, he's ruled out as well. And you can forget, you know, absolute dream names. I don't think Barella is coming. Lautaro Martinez, Inter Milan doing their thing over there. And we don't need them, to be honest. We need smart investment, smart signings to make the Liverpool squad fuller and richer for their arrival, not just on the pitch but off the pitch as well. We have that camaraderie, we have that family feel as well, and that's really important. This Liverpool team looked like a fun bunch. Sexy Soboslai and McAllister, Nunes with their mate or their mates. If you look at the position of the league table so far, we're well in and amongst the race for the top. We have a big chance for the Premier League and all the titles this season, to be honest, all the cups, Europa League as well. But it makes a huge difference, because if you're in and around the mid-table going into the transfer window, you might be thinking more long-term, someone who you want to bed into the season, get them ready for next season's opening, get them a full pre-season, off they go, hitting the ground from day one. But when you're right in the race, you want maybe more experienced head, or that live hot wire who can come out of the bench last 15-20 minutes, make an impact. Think of a kind of Ben Doak, right? Or a young Raheem Sterling coming off the bench, cementing their name, their play style, their legacy, getting in amongst the goals there. It's the type of player that you look for. It's someone who can make an instant impact and not someone you need to bed in, because when you're in and amongst the title race, you don't have the chance to really give them the minutes. And Jarrell Quansah coming to the fore actually covers a lot of the weaknesses that left-sided centre half the people are crying out for. Composure, young, English, homegrown. He's everything you want, right? Van Dijk Jr. Let's not put too much pressure on him, but yeah, so where are the weaknesses in the Liverpool squad at the moment? Okay, so a lot of people wanted a right back. Actually, at the Liverpool channel as well mentioned the right back cover for Trent. There's no one in world football, let alone potential hot rising young starlets or players who actually come to Liverpool, could do what Trent needs to do. So Trent is an isolated case whereby you need to build a team of formation around him when he's fit, to let him get those high numbers and that creative outlet, while covering for potential defensive deficiencies, not in Trent himself, but in the system that allows him to bomb forward, right? So in that regard, we already have the perfect right back backup. Gomez, coming back to form, coming back to prominence. People remember that with a consistent run of games and without injuries, Gomez is a top-notch player. He's still relatively young as well. Defensive right back who has a good delivery. We saw him whip it into Jota for one of the goals last season. He knows the Liverpool system. He's homegrown. He's never complained. Very professional, popular in the squad as well. Gomez is a top-notch right back as well as a centre back, right? He can play in both positions quite well. But the trouble is, you can't have Gomez as a predominant right back backup, because actually he needs to start a centre back or be first backup for the centre back position as well. So do we therefore look for a dedicated right back or centre back? Perhaps we look for both. And in this position, I want to recommend Yukinari Sugawara. Japanese international. Okay, it's not just because he's Japanese. He's actually pretty good, pretty decent. AZ Alkmaar in the Dutch Eredivisie as well. I think we've been linked with him in the last transfer window. It'd be a very interesting one. Endo has already arrived, a countryman. He is a prospect. I think he's like, what, 23 years old. He's played a few seasons in Eredivisie. Now, here's the thing about Sugawara, right? He's not a proactive defensive monster like, let's say, Alvaro Arbeloa, very good defender first and foremost. He is actually more of a kind of wing back or winger turned fullback because he's very comfortable in possession. He loves the ball at his feet. He can attack. He has a good set piece delivery as well. Good attacking contributions. He can bomb it down. He reminds me a little bit of Hiroki Sakai at Marseille. Japanese player as well. More further advanced in his years. Football manager legend. But with a team that dominate possession like Liverpool, Sugawara actually will have a lot of the ball in the open spaces as well, because you can't mark the fullback throughout the game. They always have that half space position in the defensive third to, you know, get on the ball being pinged out from Alisson, chipped to the wing onto him. He can also play kind of inverted right wing, a Dirk Kuyt style defensive shield in front of Trent Alexander-Arnold, switching position, inverting, and be very, very effective that way. He can probably play right-sided centre-back of a three-man centre-back system as well. He's got determination. He's actually got some leadership qualities. He is quite vocal, but he doesn't always demand the ball straight away. Sometimes he's like hidden danger. He likes to overlap around the outside, and in the final delivery, the ball comes through to him, slid through to him, in and around the outside. He'll ping the ball in. His delivery's not bad as well. You can always expect maybe a goal, a few assists out of him a season. But he's solid. He's a solid, versatile option for all the right-sided slots, from the centre back to the right back to the kind of right wing as well. So decent option, about 20 million euros, I'd say. What's that? 16 million quid maybe. I think he's worth looking at. Would take an international slot, wouldn't start straight away. Gomez would be still first right back, defensive backup. But I think he can grow into prominence in that position, and he'd offer a lot. Obviously, Japanese players have a mentality, you know, they always grow in potential, and Japan national team is getting very, very strong. So, Yukinari Sugawara, first recommendation. And next player, the next position I think we need to look at, it would be prominence to look at them early days. It's a Mohamed Salah replacement. So we need to appreciate Salah while he's here. He's been a consistent menace, consistent star player for Liverpool. Even in the front three, he was always the one getting the numbers, the goals. He's adding the assists to his game, the playmaking skills. People respect him. He's a leader. He's joined a leadership group. He sets the example in the training ground, in his health, in his lifestyle, earning the big bucks. Obviously deserved. He is top 3 player of all time alongside King, Kenny and Stevie G in our illustrious history. Well deserved as well. We need to prepare for his successor. Obviously we've got some options there. Endo coming to the fore. A Wonder Kid, reminds me of 3 Wonder Kids in the Uprising. That video will be coming soon. We do have Harvey Elliott, who is a pseudo Salah in that half space, left footed, kind of right sided attacker as well. Can thread the balls. But we need a strong right side in the scenario where Salah does go to pastures new eventually. And one of the names that Liverpool were linked with late in the transfer window, Johan Bakayoko at PSV Eindhoven, Eredivisie. So he's very, very young. He's quite silky. He's kind of a mercurial winger. Reminds me a little bit of a young Gervinho, right? Very good, very jinky, very dribbly as well. Hopefully he can be more of a goal threat than Gervinho, not just a sporadic, you know, running into a dead end genius dribbler, but hasn't got the end product. One thing that's very unusual actually is Jeremy Doku over at Manchester City. Liverpool been linked with him a long time. We had a deal tied up to bring him while he was young. Sadio Mane actually scuppered that deal by saying, you know, if you're still quality, develop, grow in a place of comfort in your own timing, and if you're still quality, Liverpool go after you in the future. Obviously that means his price tag rises as well. We never got him through, but who knows, you know, he might have been burned out in our academy or going through the youth system. So fair play to him. He's lighting up Man City. Man City's win is our loss. But Bakayoko, maybe the next big one as well. But the problem is, everyone knows about the talents of Bakayoko. He's been brought to the kind of prominence and attention, which means that his transfer value is a ridiculous 100 million euros apparently. I don't think it'll go anywhere near that. I would assume 40 million euros, 45 million euros, maybe some add-ons as well to 60 million euros based on long-term success. Might be fair enough for everyone, but it's a bit of a gamble. But you put these kind of prospects on the right wing, and one of them will absolutely cement the place for themselves. But we do need to sign more of an established right winger to take over that slot. See, I'm a really big fan of Jared Bowen. He won't move in January. He might move next summer as a big kind of transfer. Now, people have unfairly kind of labelled him because his name is isn't the most exciting. He's English. He's kind of right-sided Stuart Downing. Not really. He actually gets involved in all phases of play. His touch is actually really, really good. He's a constant threat. That diving header, which was that 1 in 100% chance to squirm and curl the way it did. Expert connection. Excellent connection. He's got the awareness to be a direct threat all the time. David Moyes has actually brought out a lot of good qualities in Bowen. I really like Jared Bowen. He's available most of the time as well. He's English, which counts as a homegrown slot as well. He's always effective, and he's always a threat against any team. Jared Bowen is actually really, really good for the system. He's a system player. You bring the most out of him, bring him to half spaces, he'll do the rest, bring on the threat, and also he's got pretty good awareness as well, right? Awareness is an underrated quality. Good touch, good awareness, goal threat. Good player, quality player. Not as good as Salah, but good replacement, with some understudies like Bakayoko, Doak and Elliott underneath him. So it could be one for the future, but obviously he's a wild card. Bring him on now. Not many people know about him. There's a Bendoke factor against Chelsea. Jurgen Klopp said nobody knows what he does. Bringing him on for that surprise factor might make an impact, might allow Salah the odd rest or two. You're thinking Europa League, Carabao Cup, maybe FA Cup as well. You've got a selection there. Elliott, Bakayoko, Doak. And I'm still expecting big things of Cade Gordon. He has potential, he has quality, he needs to get back on a fitness trail, and Trent Cone-Doherty as well. These outstanding wingers in Liverpool's academy, you know, one of them will hit the 4. I think we're well stocked in that department, but a top quality talent like Bakayoko, high potential there, never hurts. And whilst I did say realistic targets, these two are realistic in the sense that if Liverpool really wanted them and could splash the cash, we could get either one of them. Goncalo Inacio, left-sided centre-back at Sporting, recently signed a new contract. The release clause is no longer there, or at least it's higher than it was previously, so why didn't we get him in the summer? Perhaps we had that faith in Jarell Quansah. Klopp overrules the transfer committee. He knows a starlet when he sees one. He wanted to give him a chance, put him in at Wolves. Beautiful choice, masterstroke. Now England under 21 international. He's looking solid. He's looking like a decent part of the squad, and he's homegrown as well. Additionally, Piero Hincapié at Leverkusen, rising high top the Bundesliga, managed by our Liverpool legend Xabi Alonso. What a silky player. I had Alonso 14 in goal. That Champions League top, beautiful. Somebody nicked it, or could just be lost. I don't know. I'll find it one day. But yeah, Leverkusen, he's a starlet at the back. Hincapié, left-sided centre-back as well. Hard nut, decent on the ball, absolute quality. Why would Leverkusen want to sell him? They have a chance for the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich aren't all that at the moment. So if Liverpool wanted either of these players, they'd really have to splash the cash, and you're talking upwards of 50-60 million pounds. Do we need that for centre-back who wouldn't start? Would they get ahead of Van Dijk? Very unlikely, and they're not right-sided centre-backs either. Konate, Matip, Joe Mansfield at slot, Jarell Quansah on the left, but also all the other centre-backs can play there if in an emergency. Will we get them? Probably not. One of them would be wise for long-term future, but only if Klopp and the transfer committee have seen something in these two players that confirm that they are the long-term successor of Virgil van Dijk, and therefore it would be conducive to our transfer business to actually get them in early before their fee rises even further. And there's a bidding war and negotiations on go of them, because Sporting always get a high price usually, and Leverkusen riding high at the top of Bundesliga. Why would they get rid of one of their star players who are holding that defence together? It doesn't make sense. Xabi Alonso connection is there. He likes Liverpool. Maybe future Liverpool manager. Maybe at a time when he comes over, he might bring Hincapié with him. But yeah, it's unlikely. But it would be prominent to look at a potential successor to Van Dijk in the long term, and unless Liverpool really believe Jarell Quansah is the one, in which case you can have a kind of stopgap, a little bit older person who plays in that ruffled, messy, short-term stopgap position. But it's not really something Liverpool do. We don't need a Sotirios Kyriakos anymore. Kyriakos, love that guy. What a legend, Greek hard nut. He paved the way for Kostas Tsimikas, the Scouse Greek. So yeah, I would be surprised to see Ignacio or Hincapié turn up at Liverpool. In terms of their attributes, slightly different. Ignacio is a better ball player. Hincapié is very, very solid. Can't admit to watching a huge amount of them, but I do watch Leverkusen on the odd occasion, and I've watched Ignacio highlights on the YouTube. Decent enough, but I can't give him a high recommendation because once again I don't know ins and outs of their personality and what the fan base thinks of him. But solid options, and options that we've been linked to before in the previous transfer window, so it's worth highlighting that potentially if you want to fill that left-sided centre-back long term with a left foot, there we go. Now we come on to the big talking point. Liverpool's number 6. We know that Liverpool don't have an out-and-out starting number 6 yet, because Wataru Endo will cement that spot eventually. Give him time, folks. He'll come to prominence. I made a little opera song, Les Miserables. Link in channel below. Anyway, one name that I think is being overlooked slightly. I don't know if he got linked with Liverpool in the summer transfer window. He might have done. Alan Varela at Porto, Argentinian. He's decent. He's a decent fool. We have an underdog story here. Klopp loves his kind of raw diamonds. Gravenberch example pro bono. I think Alan Varela has a bit of everything. His passing can be immense. He can get to the level of Enzo Fernandez with a bit of refinement because he is a bit sloppy. He gets a bit excited, does give the ball away, trying to hard balls as well. But his interceptions are on point. His positioning is very good. He's aggressive in the tackle and he's aggressive in his offensive press as well. He is basically a younger Wataru Endo. He's Argentinian, 22. They can bounce off each other, learn off each other. You put Endo and Varela in a wall in front of the fence, nothing's getting through there. They're aggressive, they've got a dog in them to fight. He's decent in the air as well. I think Varela is actually a pretty underrated number 6. I think he does a good job in his position for Porto. He helps with transitions as well. He's more of a shield at the moment, but his ball playing, progressive playing, ball playing is not bad at all. I think if Gravenberch is the one that breaks the lines in terms of the rough diamond, Varela is the one that sits and breaks the lines with a pass. I think together, if Klopp can get them to their potential, their sky-high potential, Varela and Gravenberch could be mainstays in the Liverpool midfield for years. You add in the likes of Curtis Jones, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Endo to see the young guard coming through to prominence as well. Thiago Alcantara, I'm actually a big fan of him if you can get fit again in that squad, because you need some of the elderly kind of statesmen, and he's got the techers as well, and him and Lucho Diaz in training, my goodness, some of that skills on the chest, on the back. Very nice. Yeah, so Alan Varela is a option that I think Liverpool should peek at, because he is a cheap, efficient, effective youngster with sky-high potential. He hasn't quite got it all there yet in regards to knowing exactly what to do, but if you train him in the right system and what to do and the lines of play and passing to look for to get the ball through to Salah, or to get the ball through to the kind of 8 in the half space and 10 slot, the Mazzala slot, he would be a really interesting player because he's aggressive. He can win the ball. He's a bit of Mascherano, Ugarte, Enzo Fernandez, a hybrid of some of these qualities within them. Enzo Fernandez is a lot more polished, but he looks like he's down tools a little bit at Chelsea. He isn't giving it absolute best. Enzo Fernandez, eh? Nah, can't get him. Too expensive. But yeah, Alan Varela. Keep an eye out for that one. And then the number 6 that looks the most obvious to Liverpool fans, and actually everyone's been clamouring for him, Andre Trindade at Fluminense. Obviously Copa Libertadores into the final. Hope he wins that. You want a dedicated player who is loyal to his club, give it his all. He's got a bit of everything really, hasn't he? He's that kind of pseudo Thiago spin, receiving the ball off the back line, receiving the ball off the goalkeeper, can play really deep, dictate the play of the passing as well, likes to bring the ball forward, kind of progressive passes. Don't know if he's defensively the monstrous type that we need, but maybe Klopp doesn't need that because Endo was already there, but he's preferring McAllister, the kind of ball playing deep lying Tracosta playmaker who can work his way into the number 8 advanced 10 slot from the deep position if he breaks the lines, because McAllister starting deep, Curtis Jones goes deep for the under 21s in the England national squad, can play there for Liverpool as well. Szoboszlai can also rotate into that position, and in the later games Szoboszlai's driving potential can get him through, so Gravenberch and Szoboszlai from the deep position can break through in a 4-2-2-2 formation. Very dirty. I'll do a video on that as well soon. So Andre Trindade, all of the cards have lined up. It looks like some of the bigger clubs are looking at him too. Reminds me a little bit like Nunes, Matheus Nunes from Wolves. You know, Liverpool were linked with him for a long time. Could be his agency trying to prop him up, agreeing a deal for Liverpool to get him, but obviously that elapsed and Man City stepped in. But Man City initially wanted Paqueta. I think Paqueta will be a fantastic signing for any of the big clubs. Man City were looking like they were getting him until that betting scandal, which is why they end up with Matheus Nunes. Paqueta could be a big transfer target for the summer. I hope we get him. He's quite silky. He's adorable as well. Quite cute. Quite good looking. We like him in Japan. Fluminense's Andre looks like he could be a top prospect. Sky high potential. He likes a bit of the rough housing as well. If anything, he looks like a better passing version of Lucas Leiva. And Lucas Leiva became our favourite cult hero, right? Actually, Lucas Leiva is a manager's dream. Technically very proficient. He is disciplined. He'll hold the line. He's basically Wataru Endo, Brazilian version. But yeah, Andre Trindade. I think he will be a good prospect for Liverpool, because that Thiago factor, in the fact that he'll be the natural successor to Thiago, and if he can pick it up from the maestro himself while he's still at Liverpool, it works out for all parties, and that transfer fee shouldn't be too much of an issue now that all of the main barriers, the fact that Fluminense wanted the biggest chance of winning the Copa Libertadores, all the factors have lined up nicely. He'll be match fit, have a month's rest before he embarks on his Premier League journey, and I think he's been learning English in his own time as well. I think this is the top signing Liverpool should go for. And if they get Andre and perhaps one more, maybe a youngster, maybe a kid for the potential, I think we'll be well lined up for a proper tilt at the title, because he could be the extra midfield body that we need in tough games. He offers something different. breaking the play through his passing. Obviously, I'd like Thiago to do that, but Andre's not a bad choice, right? So yeah, I think it's better timing to get Andre in January as opposed to the summer transfer window. But the question that I have is, if we really rated Andre that highly, why didn't we do a deal in the summer to get him for the January window, you know, similar to Naby Keita's kind of prospective deal? But who knows? Let's see what happens. I have big faith that Liverpool will make a transfer window signing in January because we got the money and we might need it. Full title tilt. Here we go. Liverpool Championes. You'll never walk alone. Miyazaki man, Ichiban. Let me know who you think are the most 5 realistic signings for the Liverpool transfer window. They always throw a doozy in there. Someone whose name is out of the transfer window. But I think in this case, Andre's prominence and ability actually puts him at the forefront, even though he's been in the news. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Love interacting. Cheers, guys.